All right. Hello to everyone and happy Friday. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning if it's morning wherever you're at. Hope you're having a nice day. Let's get a couple of these windows shuffled around here, and then I think we are going to be ready to get this show on the road. So looks like I've got sound to OBS, so check on that. I did press the live on YouTube, I think. Yes. Yes, we have pressed the live on YouTube. We should be good there. Okay, let me just get the chats around over here. How's it going, DJ Devin? Put this one. We're just going to turn off the preview on that. There we go. C. Grover, how's it going? Love the Factory. Olaf from Colorado, how's it going? Nice to see all of you this evening. Evening again, it's evening in my time, I should say. Well, it's actually kind of late afternoon, but anyway, it doesn't really matter what time it is. So hello to everyone, especially hello to anybody that might be new. My name is Tim. If you have never caught this before, I go by Foamy on GitHub and Discord. This is a deep dive live stream program. During this live stream, I should say, we are working on things related to CircuitPython. If you are, in fact, brand new and you have never caught any of these streams before, and you don't know what CircuitPython is, you can learn more here at circuitpython.org. This is the main website for the project. Basically, though, CircuitPython is a version of Python that runs on these tiny computers called microcontrollers. And when you plug this computer when you plug this microcontroller into your computer with a USB cable, it will show up like a thumb drive, and then CircuitPython allows us to just edit a code file that's on that thumb drive, save it, and it will automatically run on that device. And these microcontrollers, they come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes, different built-in peripherals, all sorts of different things, capabilities and things that they have. In particular, today I'll be working with this Feather RP2040, which is one of these microcontrollers that run CircuitPython. This one has an RP2040 as the main, sort of brain. That's the main microcontroller, the CPU, if you will. And then, it's a Feather form factor. So it's got battery charging built in. It's got an LED. It's got a stemma cable, boot select button down there, a couple other things. It's a relatively bare bones one, but it makes it a good sort of test candidate. Let's see. So that's, circuitpython.org. Like I said, that's where you can learn more. The other thing I would encourage you to do if you're new is head over to the Discord, which is linked down below, I believe, adafru.it/Discord. You can go there, and there is a CircuitPython dev channel. There's also a help with CircuitPython channel. So if you want to either get help with a CircuitPython project or help developing, some code to run on CircuitPython or something like that, or if you'd like to, get involved with the actual development of the project and the libraries itself, you can join us over on Discord and just say, hey, I'm new, I'm interested in getting involved, and somebody will help point you to some of the, the best stuff to get into for new folks. So that is CircuitPython and me. How's it going, Dave Odessa over on YouTube? Nice to see you this evening as well. I will say CircuitPython is an open source project. Everybody is allowed to use it on their own boards. You're allowed to make your own hardware and then have it run CircuitPython. You don't have to pay any money for that. As a project, the CircuitPython project, it is funded by this company, Adafruit. This is their website, adafruit.com. So they are actually paying the team of folks who work on the project. There's a small team that works on the project full time. There's another team of folks, or a larger team of folks who work on the project part time, like myself. And Adafruit is the one that's actually paying all of us to do so. So definitely, of course, huge thank you to Adafruit for doing that. And then I'll just say thank you to everybody who wants to purchase hardware from Adafruit. That's another way that you can help contribute to the longevity and the health of the project, is just by purchasing hardware from Adafruit. You can get yourself microcontrollers that run CircuitPython. You can also get yourself breakouts and sensors and lights and beepers and buttons and all kinds of things that you can hook up to your microcontrollers to interact with. So thanks to folks who purchase from them. It really does help out the project as a whole. So today jumping in, I am looking at testing out this Framebuf PR. This one, I have seen this one. This has come by my desk a couple of times, and I've hesitated jumping on it because I don't have the hardware for it. But it definitely deserves a look. It's been about a month, so I do want to give it a look. And this person did, they popped up in the Discord, like I was talking about before. They popped up in the Discord and just said, hey, can somebody take a look at this? So it has been a little while. Probably should have tried to get to it sooner, but we're gonna take a look today. I'm gonna do what I can. I don't actually have the exact hardware that I would need to test this. So basically what this PR is about is adding, if I understand it at least, this is about adding support for the bicolor LED matrices. So if I hop back over to Adafruit for just a second, these bicolor, I mean, this is a different kind of one. It's a similar thing, but more like this, or maybe this. Well, this one has the whole breakout. I don't know. You may be able to use this one without. I don't know about that one. This one, though, I think is what it's for. These 8x8 LED matrices, you might be familiar with these things. You know, there's lots of different ones of these floating around, you know, different sizes. Some of them have dots, some of them have squares. But, you know, these are a relatively common thing. Especially, I'll say the monocolor ones I feel like are pretty common. This one is a bit more rare, at least in my neck of the woods. I don't recall ever seeing one of these in person, and I don't own any myself. I'm sure they're not, you know, that rare, but it's not something that I've ever interacted with personally. These ones, though, instead of being monochrome, they actually have, I'm assuming, just 2 LEDs inside of each little square. One of them is green, one of them is red. Therefore, it can either turn the green one on, turn the red one on, or turn them both on, and you end up with this sort of yellowish, amber, orange color. How's it going, Jose David? Good afternoon. DJ Devin, I think I'm going with the MP3 encoder and SD card module. I think I can work with that. Catch up here. Did I miss one? I see. I did miss one. If you're interested in pursuing the transformer approach, the I2C audio coupling. I gotcha. I have an extra transformer that's yours for the asking. I got you, trying to smooth out some MP3 playback, sounds like. So I don't actually have the hardware. If I understand right, though, this is the piece of hardware that this PR is trying to add support for. It's trying to add it as support inside the Framebuf library. For folks that don't know the Framebuf library, this is like an older API for displaying stuff on displays, or in this case, even displaying stuff on a matrix. You know, basically pretending a matrix is a display in order to display stuff on it. If we pull up the examples, we should be able to find... There's not a lot in there, is there? Okay, so I guess let's hit the simple test. Yeah. It's not the best example, truthfully. This one's almost more of a test than a example, truthfully. It's like just printing stuff out. This is it's not actually hooking up to a display in this one. Let's find one that hooks up to a display. SSD 1306 is one I think I have on one of these tabs, or maybe not. Oh no, there it is. Okay, SSD 1306. This is the, and so Framebuf, it is like a precursor to displayio. This is an older way to display things. This is my understanding of it, at least. I was not around and involved when Framebuf was created, so I could have it wrong, but this is kind of my, you know, what I understand about it, or at least think I understand about it. It's an older way to display. This was the way to draw on displays before displayio became a thing. In, I want to say, CircuitPython maybe 4 or 5 was when displayio was created, and then that kind of became the new way to draw on displays, and it's certainly the way that I do much more frequently. But this was an older style for some devices, for a couple of devices, like this SSD 1306. There's actually both. You can use the displayio driver, which is here. This is the one you know, that I would probably use if I were sitting down to use one of these devices today. You can also, though, come back and use this old Framebuf library as well. If we look in the examples here, I think this will provide a little bit better of a look at kind of what this library does, or the way that the display works. And if you've ever done displays on Arduino, I suspect it's probably similar to this low level. So, create your I2C bus, initialize your display, super easy. Just give it the I2C bus, give it the size, height, and width. And then you've got a couple of these methods for interacting with the display. So you can fill it with a certain color. And in this case, I think it's a monocolor display. So it's like, each pixel is either on or off, I think is this one. So you can fill it with 0, which I assume would turn all the pixels off. Show will actually refresh it. Always call show after changing the pixels to make it update. And then so fill is one method that you have for painting, painting stuff, putting stuff on the display. Pixel is another method. You say X, Y, and then you say the the color that you want, or in this case, like the 0 or 1, since it's monocolor. And then I want to say there's also maybe I think there's a couple of more. There's maybe like a draw text, draw box, fill rect. There's one, fill rect. There are set pixel, pretty much is what we saw, fill rect. I don't see a text one. I might have been wrong about the text one. Pixel, H line, V line, circle. You can even draw a circle. Rect, line, blit, not yet implemented though. Scroll, to shift everything. Text, there is a text, okay. Image, although you probably could not use this in CircuitPython. This would be more of a Blinka thing, I think, if you need a Python imaging library. Unless our bitmap happens to be the same. I don't know if it is, but I think that's for CPython probably. There's a bitmap font here, which is interesting. Could this use bitmap font, the library? I don't know. That'd be interesting. I guess no, because this is like bin file fonts. Anyway, so Framebuf driver, it provides these very low-level ways to interact with the display. Paint all the pixels, fill them all in, paint a specific pixel, paint a rectangle of pixels, paint a circle of pixels, a line, some text, shift over or up or down or whatever by a certain amount. These are the kinds of things that this driver allows you to do. In contrast with displayio, where you can have like a group and you can add, a label and an image both into one group, and then you can scale it or move it around. I guess the shift is kind of similar to moving it around, but like in this way, you don't really have the groups and the tile grids and the bitmaps and all that stuff. Instead, you just have this display object with its, 4 or 5 functions that allow you to draw stuff onto it. So that's what Framebuf is. That is the library where this PR is at. In particular, it's made for the matrices more so than the displays. Like I said, I don't actually have any of the bicolor matrices though, so I'm not going to be able to test out the actual new functionality. What I am going to do though is this person left this sort of emulation script type thing. This script is able to essentially use Framebuffer. Well, use Framebuff, use the library, but it doesn't require the hardware. It's just outputting into the terminal, if I understand right. And so this kind of serves as a test in a way of the Framebuf library. Interesting. May skip? I guess it just prints in addition to updating the actual display, maybe. Seems like it. We'll visualize in the terminal. Yeah. Address. The pixels are in the incorrect order. I'm not sure what that is. I guess that's probably something like, it depends, like when you have those actual matrices, there's sometimes different pinouts. So maybe this is about like swapping the pins if they end up not lining up the first time. I'm not sure. My best guess. So it looks like we should be able to run this locally. We're going to try this, and then we're going to basically try some of the hardware that I do have that also uses the Framebuf library, just to try to verify that there's no regressions or anything going on. So we just want to make sure that the existing hardware, which I do have and can test, is not affected by the new stuff. And as long as that's good to go, I don't know exactly when or if we'd be able to find somebody with the dual color one. So as long as the emulation seems to work fine, and as long as the other hardware is not interrupted by the new functionality, then I'm inclined to kind of probably approve it and merge it. And then like, that way it's at least in, and whenever, if ever we do get somebody who can, I don't really want this in here, I guess, actually. I think we want this actually in other, do we? Yeah, I think we do. So we'll test it out as best we can. In this case, we don't have the actual hardware, but we'll do the best we can with what we do have, and just try to get it in if we can. If there's no regressions or anything, then we want to go back up to other. I've never seen anything like this in there before. I guess that's probably pointing at their branch, basically the same branch from the PR, I would assume. Where was the example that just said how to run it by itself? Python, there it is, okay. Go numbers to start with, maybe. So right now I mean, this probably should just fail because I'm missing libraries. That's, I think, what I'm expecting the first time. Then we'll get the libraries installed. We'll try it with the released version. We'll try it with the new version. Actually, what are we doing over here? Off. Is it numbers? Do we want to run it in here? Maybe we should run it in its own terminal. So I do have Framebuf installed, but it is the currently released one, which of course doesn't have the PR in it yet. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go open Framebuf. We could go new window. This is probably out of date, I would guess. RGB 565. Check out main. I noticed that said origin, get remote dash V. Let's see who's our origin. Adafruit, get remote, rename origin. Adafruit. Whoops. Fetch. Date. PHPR list. PHPR checkout 50. And then I wanna uninstall the current one. I'm gonna go pip just uninstall. Dash. Oh, right. Python -m. Yep. Okay. So now it should fail even more. Perfect. And then we should be able to go back to here and go python -m pip install dot. It's a little confused about the versions, but that's fine. Oh, still no, actually. Interesting. Did it not successfully? Oh, it's not only confused about the versions, it is like confused about the everything. That's not ideal. Ooh. Did something like, did anything actually really get installed? Unknown? It does. Okay. I don't know why that didn't work. Usually that's how you can install from the repo. It says unknown here. I guess that could be part of the mystery. Not part of the repo, is it though? Oh, it's yellow, so it's in gitignore. It's weird. Why did it? So there's also, I think, like -e had to use before. I think that's somehow related. Oh, yikes. There's a thing called install. That's not good. Problem is, I guess we want. I have no idea. Doesn't even look like there is a -e actually. I don't know why I was thinking that. I thought there was a -e. Color uses feature use deprecated. Search post. Weird. Pip install from repo. Okay, that looks familiar. That's basically what person did. I've done a local one before too, though. I think. Let me just try with the dot again. I swear that's how I've done it before. Let's just, maybe we Maybe that unknown thing was already existing. Maybe somehow that threw us off. I deleted that, so let's try again. We're definitely inside Adafruit CircuitPython Framebuf, which is where this is at, PyProject Toml, which has this inside, which says name, which should be that. Nope, still did it again. It knows right here. But it gets to unknown. I've never actually had a problem with that before. Git plus. Git plus file. After repo? Does it need to be a full path? Not run successfully. That does not appear to be a Git repository. I probably have the path wrong. Oh, the slash at the end? Maybe it's the slash at the end. Still says unknown. That is so weird. Okay. Well, put our troubleshooting hat on. Not necessarily expecting this part to trip me up. So I am gonna, first thing I'm gonna do is just try this with another one. Do we have touchscreen? I feel like I've even done this like recently. All right, well, I don't know how to install it then. I mean, I guess I install it the same way they did, I suppose. I don't know why this. I really would prefer this worked though. Honestly, like, why did I want to know how to do it this way? This used to work. Is it? Does that require setup pi? Maybe this only worked when we had setup pi? These are not shouty unknowns. I don't know. Okay. Okay. It's closed, so fingers crossed there's a solution or a workaround or something helpful. Oh, don't do that to me, please. I mean, I guess we could make a VMV. Is it? No, it still says this, though. Oh, that's the name of the project. Updating pip? Running from a container. Yeah. I feel like it's probably this. I probably have a weird version of something that's old and not actually being used properly as the current one or something. Installed automatic. I need to reinstall it? This thing now has that. Oh. Module name pip. Okay. Nope. Still does unknown. I'm gonna. M7's just hit the store. Nice. Hot tip for anybody who's interested for sure. Oh boy, I was not expecting to have a problem with this part of it at all, and I really don't know exactly what to do about it, to be honest. Am I on the environment? No difference. That did not end up here anyway, actually. That's weird. That went back out to there. Why I just clicked apply. Gosh, that's kind of frustrating. I don't know how we... I don't know what I need to make it work. I swear I just did this not that long ago, though, which is the part that's really wigging me out about this, is like I don't think anything should have changed in a major way like this to... Copy of VIM. So I guess technically that last test didn't work because we're not inside the VM here. Now we're actually in there. Worked. All right, well, shame on me for not using virtual environments, I guess. This is the universe's way of telling me that I really should be using virtual environments, but I really don't want to. I really think it's a lot more convenient. In the vast majority of cases that I personally run into, I have a bunch of stuff installed all in one. But we made it. So we have Framebuf, so we now need to get the thing that we run this in to that other virtual environment, which is now inside the Framebuf repo. So we're gonna go the environment. Go. Got numbers. What were the other ones? Was numbers, it was corners was one. Outline fill, blinking lights. Corners of each 8x8 display, I think. So this is like a mock-up of 4 8x8s. And then opposite corners are red or yellow. Pretty cool. Fill with green. Lights. This is the only one that goes over time. The other ones that seem like just kind of drew and then we're done. This one actually keeps going as you let it run here. And that looks like that's another, essentially a mock-up of the 4 8x8s. Wondering why they removed coupons. Makes sense now to next-gen MCUs here. Couldn't help it. I checked out immediately and got that MP3 decoder too. They only made 100 M7s in the first batch. Yeah. Yeah. I will at some point try to figure out what that is doing, because I would really rather it work to the base, but that can be a problem for a different day. This is pretty cool though. I do actually really like the way that they have made these like emulation scripts, basically. Like, this makes it possible to test the changes without actually having the hardware. And I'm actually kind of curious, could we, let's see if we could, of pixel, let's see if we could dumb this down a bit further. Could we somehow, I'd like to get it out of needing to like run this thing with its own animations. I'd like to get it to a point where we can kind of do a sort of something similar to whatever's in the simple test here. Like, maybe if we could hook up this buffer to be outputting in the terminal, I'd like to try to get some more just basic code that's not this like full blinking lights thing if we can. This makes frame buffer from a buffer, a width and a height, and a color. So when we call numbers, it calls framebuffer.text. But how does it make it output? Is it calling log? Calls draw. Passes the panel. This takes the animation. It calls log, actually. Okay. So initialize the frame buffer, do stuff on the frame buffer, call log on the frame buffer. I want to just try to get it down to the absolute basics. So I'll take log, put log there, and then I think I don't want pretty much any of the rest of any of these helper functions, I think. I want to just hardcode, create this buffer, terminal, we'll need to figure out, whoops. Okay, we're gonna change some of these. Actually, I guess I'll height 8, width 32, colors, is it 3 or 2? 2. Import this from here. Same thing as this, actually, but it didn't work. I don't know why I want to fill in. That's where it's going to find it, though. Oh, it is here. This is not finding it correctly for some reason. That's fine, though. Okay. Log. Oh, wait, we didn't catch this. Log that. Anything else? Nope, just that. Okay, log that. So let's run this. What? Python typing. Okay. Module. Okay, this is not. I see. Yeah. Term. Is the MacBook M1 Max still enough for coding? I probably am not suited to answer that question at all. I've never really used a Mac personally. I will be right back. I'm gonna run and wipe the nozzle on the 3D printer real fast. I just heard it finish, so BRB. 1 second. Okay. It will save me a bunch of time when I go to start the next sprint. Terminal, right, we still never solved that. What is terminal? Whoa, 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 whoa. Terminal is not spelled that way. Enum. $13 in stock. 80 or whatever. M7 with airlift. You got me. You got me on the FOMO. What are we doing, yo? We're buying an M7 is what we're doing, actually. But then we're coming right back to using this driver. But I do kind of want to have one of those devices. Okay, I am one of the lucky 13. Anybody who's watching that wants one, you probably gotta act quick. Comes from we need int? Probably not, right? We might not. I think we're not using int. Or if this just does this one. With the IMX with host. How's it going, Axel? Okay, perfect. So obviously at this point there's nothing drawn on it, but I believe that that's outputting, so we should be able to go like my frame buffer. And then now we have all of the methods that we talked about. So something like fill 1 and run should show all of them green. Then I'm assuming, I mean, I guess you just do 2, right? red, and then 3 seems like the next logical choice, right? Yes. Okay, 3 for both on. So then you can also do stuff like pixel. Wait, let's go log there, and then let's go for I and range width. Let's do height also. Oh, well, yeah, range. Well, let's do height on the outside. Y or X and range width. Pixel X, Y. So we're currently yellow. I'm gonna switch it back to red. Or green, actually, which was, I think, 1. And then we're gonna go log, and then we're gonna go turn out sleep a little bit, because I think that's gonna go really fast. And a 10. Oops. Snagged me a couple. Nice. Mr. Walkman. So it's tough because it's just printing a new one every time instead of updating. How did that animation one update, right? That animation one was updating. How did that work? Thinking lights. Let's log. Yield. Doesn't call log again. Do you not have to keep calling log? Hmm. Okay, I don't think it matters too much. I'm a little curious how it worked, but not enough to spend too much time, I don't think. Yield. All of these yield the frame buffer. Yeah, I don't see how it does the updating rather than the printing new, right? Because this one's not scrolling at all. It just stays on that one. So only differences I can see this. So draw would get called from here. So it goes We're not Raspberry Pi, so we're just going to come to here, go panel none. We have animations. That's a dictionary pointing to those functions, all of which yield frame buffer, which I feel like is probably part of the magic here. That's a dictionary. It goes random animation. Choose a random one. Then it goes, if it came from argv, then use it. Else do the random one. Also checking the length of the arguments, how many arguments got passed, then animations. So animation, this is going to become a function. This is going to become one of these functions. Then this is going to say for frame in animation, panel frame buffer. If Raspberry Pi, which is false for me, then it's going to go draw panel frame chosen animation. Frame in animation. Panel frame buffer. So it's actually calling draw over and over again rather than log, but of course inside of here it calls log. Ah. Clear the terminal. Draw, yep, C. Grover, I think you got it. Draw sends a clear, yep, down to 10, down to 9. Inventory is very accurate. Yeah, their counts are like on top of it. It's pretty crazy. I forget what device it was, but I remember watching a deep dive with Scott where like a couple hundred or whatever things went into the store, and then they just dwindled down throughout the course of the one. And if I recall right, there was one where Scott like tried to buy it real quick before he said anything about it or something, to make sure that he got one, which is pretty funny. Okay, so I think that should do it. Let's try running that one again. That's actually clearing after 27. Why would that be interesting? Should we put it somewhere else? Interestingly, this says print that, then print chosen animation, then call log. But we don't actually see it printing. Okay, there's actually, we do have chosen animation, I guess. I mean, this shouldn't affect it, right? No. This is not like, it's kind of a tangent, right? This isn't necessarily the CircuitPython side of things. Got to turn in now. Thanks, Tim. Yep. Take it easy, Dave. Hope you have a nice night. This is not necessarily like a Python related or anything, but this is seeing noted is not portable. By 3. I don't know, like it's why would it be any different than it'd be any different, right? Like that's literally working inside of this one. Draw does that. We're not Raspberry Pi, so it just returns, so none of this stuff happens. Then it would just loop back around and call draw again next time. I don't quite get why that does anything different. What if log had that in it? Is that bad? Doesn't seem to be working anyway, though. That one does still work like that. Okay. I don't know. I think we'll just call that one, let it remain a mystery for now. I guess, okay, because my brain really likes to solve problems, we're going to try one more thing, but then I swear I'm moving on after this if we don't get it. I'm just going to try os.system cls, clear the screen like that, right? No, it's called clear in Linux. Term environment variable not set. Doesn't work for some reason, I don't know. Okay. I don't know. It's really neat. It's updating in your terminal window with the colors. Maybe create the function for the green square in yield. Create the function for the green square in yield. Like put this into a function. Does the loop go outside, or I don't quite know how to set it up the same way, to be honest. Would we yield after the whole thing, or we'd have to yield each time, I think, right? Yield. But then I'm pretty sure our loop, I don't think I'm doing it right, honestly. I think our loop is in the wrong spot. Honestly, I don't have really hardly any experience with yield. I think, oh goodness. I think that doesn't work the same way. Okay, it finished. Okay, well that's because it never called do something. But that's only going to do one frame at a time because it yields. So I think it would have to be in a loop. Hey, whoa, I was using that. So now it's still running, but it's not. I think it's. Yeah, I don't know. It's not updating. I think it's just doing the first iteration over and over again or something, like. I don't actually know. Anyway, though, I apologize, but I gotta step away for just one more second and run to the restroom and then come right back. Okay, sorry. Got my afternoon coffee and it's gone right through me, as they say. Updating the terminal wish list are technically best way to go. One click save certs. Oh, save carts. I still have cookie issue with Firefox where I have to log out and log in between PC and updated carts. Wish list, avoid that. Usually if I do an order, I spend a long time searching for other stuff to order simultaneously and then inventory. Oh no, yeah. I've had that happen as well on new stuff sometimes. I go looking around for other stuff and then by the time I check out, it's gone actually. Yeah. I've done that before as well. Came late, but you're looking to clear the terminal. Did I try? I have not, but I will. I think let's go back to not this one. I'll tell you what, I'll keep this and we'll just not call it for now. We won't yield. And then we'll try this. So the weird thing is there no copy. The weird thing is, so I tried, the one I did try was this one. Character 27 plus bracket 2J. The thing is, like, the super weird thing is when I run this blinking light script, it's working properly. Because this is not scrolling. And I guess I'm not following the code correctly 100%, but it seems to me like the only thing that's making that happen is the fact that they print this. There's really nothing else special, but for whatever reason, when I try that same way, it doesn't seem to messing with. Pretty sure my cat is like trying to get into the dryer right now. He hopped in the dryer after we got done with the load the other night, and he was like rolling around in there having all sorts of fun with it not turned on, obviously. And now he is down there, I think, messing with it, trying to get the door open. There's no clear in REPL. I'm not sure. So clear's supposed to work like clear the Linux command or whatever. I did try that. That had a different error for me. It said something about term something not defined environment variable. That one is also still does not clear for me in this case. It's not in REPL. It's in CPython running a script on the PC. So OS, yeah, see, here is where I tried clear. It says term environment variable not set. I don't know what that one means. Something with ANSI escapes. What's building? We are testing a PR for these bicolor LED matrices. So we're not necessarily building anything, we're just testing a thing that somebody else built, in this case. Anyway, I think the clearing, it doesn't matter too much. My brain would be real happy if I could figure it out, because it's super weird to me that it works fine in this one and it seems like the same thing that we're doing. Obviously, somehow there's something different going on. Not quite catching on to it yet. It's probably not all that complex. It's probably something relatively simple that I'm just not seeing right now. But that's okay. I don't think that really matters too much. The ability to test Framebuffer is still there. This does seem to be working fine we position this thing just right and we ignore the fact that there's like up and down motion, then we can pretty much pretend like it's working. It's good enough for me. And it is working exactly how I thought it would. So we are able to kind of like make a frame buffer and then manipulate it, do stuff with it. And everything does seem to be working. It just runs all the way to the end. And then I guess if we wanted to, maybe let's go a little faster. Now it's filling up with green, and then it will fill up with red. Oh no, that's yellow. Oh, right. Wrong number. There we go. You adjust the size, yeah. Yeah, pretty much it does. It still has that's like motion. It's got some like zoomies going on there that you can see when it scrolls off, but it's good enough, I think. Man, YouTube on the phone, not so great for listening to music, if I'm honest. It's like pausing a lot. There's a billion ads. I usually do not have that much trouble on the PC. Okay, that's really about all that we can test the new functionality. So the other stuff we want to do is just make sure the old functionality is fine as well. So we're just going to test some things that use the library. One of them will be this thing over... I really opened all these tabs so far today? My goodness. Okay, so this thing, featherwing matrix thing. Matrix. It's one of these, basically. So if I understand correctly, that means inside of this HTK, inside of this library, HT16K, either this thing. So either this will extend Framebuf, or there should be an example maybe that uses it. One of the two. This one does not. Text. Okay, this one uses Framebuf. So it creates the matrix. It initializes the matrix here, I should say. Clear it. Byte array. Create a frame buffer here where it's using these colors. And then it's using fb.text. Okay. Let's get this plugged in. This is probably on a... Probably on a very old version. Not really, actually. But we will go ahead and update to the current released. Please don't be frozen. Honestly, I feel like that resetted as soon as I pressed boot select. I don't think that's supposed to happen as far as I know, but maybe I am misremembering, or maybe I accidentally pressed the other one before I realized it. I heard the doodaloo before I pressed reset though, and I got worried. Internet testing. So in this one, we're basically just... Set itself again. Oh, because I saved. But I haven't saved yet. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Guys, starting to get some weirdness. Got me worried a little bit, but we're going to try to power through. I wonder if we need to have 2? Because we... Oh no, 16 by 8. Yeah, no, that's what we have. Never mind. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so... yeah. Use board.itc. I don't think it matters. High fails for repo? Nope. Actually, we actually did succeed. If I can find the... I have so many things open again. Oh my goodness. Hip rabbit hole has wreaked havoc on my tabs. All right, so it's upside down. The light is not doing us any favors, but it is working. Light off. There we go. Hello, Blinka. It's a bit blinky, and it doesn't quite appear the exact same through the camera as it does to the naked eye. But that has to do with the refresh rate of the screen and the refresh rate of the camera and all kinds of stuff. It is rendering the text and scrolling it, though, successfully. I will say this is not the updated version, so we still want to go back. We want to delete Framebuf. This should fail because no library. And then we put back the modified Framebuf. Could close some of these. I don't need touchscreen. I don't need shapes. That was also, I don't need this. That was also part of the pip rabbit hole. See, confusing myself with the lefty righty here. Go. Perfect. All good. That is really the main thing we wanted to see on this one. I'll take a quick peek through. Are there any other examples in this repo that use Framebuf? There's bicolor, which I don't have animation. Nope, that one's not using Framebuf. Simple test, I think, is probably not. Nope. Yeah. Multi-display. Nope, no Framebuf there either. Okay, so yeah, the text one, the scrolling one is really the main one with Framebuf in it for that. Okay, and that's all good. So another thing that uses Framebuf is the 1306 or something. What's this one? SSD 1306, which is the display that's on this, which I have one of here. That is true. That is not, I won't say 100% of the time. There are occasionally times where I dive into something and it doesn't become a complete rabbit hole, but definitely the vast majority of time. Do you think we could run this with this? Should we try it? Do we dare do them both? They're both I2C. This is 3C. Do they use the same address? Let's try it. Why not? Why not? Matrix panels. For the matrix panels, the dual frame buff does help sometimes. Dual frame. Interesting. Results. Oh, results. I think it's the end of results. SSD 1306, and this is the non-displayio driver. So this is the driver that uses Framebuf. And so in this case, it's not importing Framebuf directly, but what it's doing is it's importing this class, it's initializing this class, and that class actually does extend Framebuf. There's an I2C one and a SPY one. We're going to be using I2C. But the root one does do Framebuf. So as long as this still works as expected, then that's another, you know, kind of piece of evidence that this change is not problematic for anything, basically. So simple test. So I already have the bus. We could take just this part. And I'm going to put it here. And then it will just display some stuff on the display, and then it will start going to the matrix, doing the same stuff it's already doing on the matrix, albeit maybe slower since it's now also doing the display. Oh, we don't have, we should have displayio release displays. Also, that failed. Okay, yeah, we don't have the library. We probably are missing a release displays, honestly, though. Actually, this doesn't say release displays. It's gonna fail after the first time, right? Oh, but it, maybe not because it's I2C. Maybe not, actually. Yeah, I guess SPY, the reason it fails is because it tries to initialize the bus again? I mean, well, technically this is trying to initialize the bus again as well, actually. Matrix and screen. Read all of that, copy this, paste it, just try it by itself. It's too many tabs. Again, ready. And then that fails. Oh, that succeeded. Okay, the reason it failed on the last one is not because I did not have the library at all. It's because I did not add the import, actually. Yeah. That makes sense. It's not displayio. That's true. This one is not displayio. It's intentional in this case because we're trying to test Framebuf. If we go down a rabbit hole in a deep dive, are those sea rabbits, or does it become a deeper dive? Ocean-faring rabbits? Sea rabbits do sound pretty adorable. It's like an alternative version of a seahorse. I'd be pretty down with that. So it does this, and it does run... It does just keep running because it doesn't get the REPL. Oh, that's why you said it's not displayio. Yes. I am caught up again. Thank you. And you are correct. Obviously, it doesn't do the REPL because that's a displayio thing. Which means, obviously, we don't have to do release displays because that's also a displayio thing. This shows you how much more I use displayio than Framebuffer. Yeah, that makes total sense, actually, that we don't need to do that. So this doesn't do much. It's just painting these pixels. Just go like X. I'm gonna do I. Y as 20. Yep. Manatees are nicknamed sea cows. It's true, I have heard sea cow. I feel like there's a play on words for the pie cowbell. It's actually quite slow. Okay, that seems fine. So yeah, our real problem was not actually, I assumed that our problem was that we did not add the library to the board, but that's not actually the case. Really, the problem was just we did not import the library, I think. I'm going to take that for loop because I do actually want to try to run them both if we can. I'm kind of curious. So for now, we'll just let it do the pixels, I guess. And then also do the matrix thing, but it will need to import. Why is there no red on this, I wonder? Oh, there is. Okay, fair enough. Nice. So we got our 3 dots. We also got our Framebuf here. This is also upside down, obviously. I think there's a... Nope. Rotation? Anybody? Rotation. Rotation anywhere. Surprised actually. Oh well. Alright, it's upside down. It's fine. Let's do updating them both. So we have that loop. Let's go take this. That's not quite the same, I guess. Let's just what is this? Using frame buffer text result? I think we want inside of here. Don't. Buddy, come here. Hey, come here. Say hello to Stripey Cat. Stripey Cat, say hello to everybody. Octopus. I was trying to stop him from going to the garage. Like Watership Down. Ever heard of Watership Down? Sounds adorable. Entire society of rabbit culture. It's militarized robot. Rabbits, I mean. Like the book's gonna be full of analogies and symbolism. You cat. Yeah, thank you. I tell him that all the time. So I'm gonna just go like cur_x, and then just gonna kind of cheat this into its own loop, or into this other loop as we go here, basically. Do we want it inside of this? Actually, no. Let's do it like that. Cur_x, start it on 0. Draw the pixel, do the show, increment that. Increment that like that, the way that we actually increment. If this is greater or equal to the width, then just put it back to 0, but also do display.fill 0. So that will make it fill up this line, and then once it gets full, it'll go back and then fill it up again, and our 3 diagonal dots there should disappear when it fills up the second time, I believe. All while scrolling the text here as well, albeit slower now since it's doing 2 things instead of 1. It does appear to be working. So I'm going to let it get to the end and reset just to make sure that that's working. And then consider this one good. Nice. So we're all good there. The only, let's see, what else do I have to test? I have I have this one. Charlie. Seven by 5? No, 7 by 15 LED matrix. Unplug that. This is also I2C, I think. Yeah. Ray. For Batman here. A subtle nod. Hey, hold on. I got you, buddy, hold on. Hold on. Hear me? Come here. Hey, slowly.
What is he called?
Yeah, can you...
This?
Okay. Minor cat emergency. Not really an emergency, but he got his little paw stuck on this carpet that he really shouldn't have been putting his claws into, but he does sometimes. Okay. Got here, sorry about that. Apparently I need to start doing the old cat warning. I'm gonna put the light back on. I don't know what color mine is, but I'm pretty sure it's one of these things. Please tell me that's not coming through the stream. Doesn't appear to be. What on earth is making that sound? You serious right now? Is that this? It's on this page. Huh. Something on this page has like white noise in it. Like psh, psh, psh. But it's not this? But this is the only like moot. Oh, that didn't work. That didn't work. I paused it. Didn't stay paused though. Oh, but now it does. I don't think that's it, right? Is it one? Is it these? Those are videos. Say muted. Does anybody else want to do me a favor and like you go to this page with like sound on, like your speakers playing or whatever? Like, do you hear that? The white noise? Or whatever? I don't, it's like, That's what, is it this thing? Hmm? Okay, well, we're gonna click that to stop it. I don't know. Something on that page is making sounds. I don't know what it is. I actually usually hate using this thing. I didn't even know this thing existed until recently, and then I kept hitting it accidentally a bunch of times. This is actually, I think, the first time I've used it in a way intentionally. Okay. Plug it back in. Don't hear anything. Interesting. Did you get the same ones of these at the bottom, or did you get different ones of these? That's like a tiny bit of a hiss. Okay, maybe mine is probably playing pretty loudly. Yeah, mine's playing loudly because of some weirdness with my stuff. Yeah, it is actually, it's pretty quiet. Actually, the way my thing was, it cranked it up quite a bit. It is definitely playing. Do not hear anything. Weird. Do you have the same, did you get the same ones of these four down here? Related guides? That's the only thing I could think is if it's like, but these aren't videos. Only one of them is a video. I mean, it feels like it would be this, but that says unmute? It thinks it's muted and it doesn't even let me unmute. See any other media? Anyway, this asset's playing on my end. Playing sound? I have different ones. Okay. So those must be, they're like probably related to the person also. Or just random, I guess, too. Interesting. Okay. That's all right. Hear nothing. FF usually blocks audio from autoplaying. That is true, and mine does usually do that as well. It's weird how these resume themselves after I do pause like that. But now it's like playing again, which is weird. I don't know. Anyway, it does not matter too much. Let's go back to and screen. Two matrices, even though they're obviously two different matrices, but for my own purposes, I'm going to call the script that. We're going to delete that. We're going to delete all this stuff. All of this. Nope. Come on now. And to here. Oh, shoot, too much. Hold on. No, we want that. We want that. Just this stuff. There we go. And then we get rid of this stuff. Save that for now. So we have our one matrix. We want to get our second matrix, which hopefully don't have the same C address. Suppose we'll find out. I already have I2C. I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna call this one Charlie. I'm gonna call it Charlie Matrix also, since it's not really a display. Though I guess it did put that as display, that's fine. Charlie matrix. Then we should be able to just draw on it, so I guess maybe we should have kept that stuff? Matter, I guess. Use some parts of this. Well, let's just paint something real quick, I guess. So Charlie matrix dot pixel. Let's go 0, 0, 1. Then maybe like 3, 3, 1. Save that, but we're not in CodePy, so we copy that, we go to CodePy, we put it there. This doesn't seem like it's doing anything. Oh, I didn't call show, I think, maybe? Call show. Oh, it did actually. It did do something, just the light overpowered it, so it happens to be blue as well, and my light was too much for it, couldn't see them. But they are actually there. So we could now make this, do this loopy thing like this one was kind of doing. Charlie matrix, pixel, cur pixel. We can't do 20 because there's not actually 20. Let's just do like 2. We will do 1. We don't need that, I guess, because I didn't call that before. Cur x plus 1, that will be Charlie matrix dot width. 0 fill should exist there. Nice. Doesn't wait very long on the last one there. Ooh, see that super fast iteration? That was interesting. Most of them are like about like that. You know what it is? It's when there's no letters there. After Blinka ends, you get a really fast iteration or two out of this one. Interesting, because it's not spending time with the letters. Huh, that's kind of cool. You don't usually get to see so clearly like CPU being used on something else. We're like ever so slightly lighting up the one below? Feels like we're lighting up the one below there. Is this wrong? Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. Didn't actually seem to make a difference, which is odd, but it might just be because it's so fast, like, I would have to catch it just right at the end there, I guess. Weird, it's playing audio on mine, but not on the page linked, but when I click through to that link, you get the static noise loop. Okay, yeah, that's gotta be the same thing. So you get it on that page. That is fascinating. Yeah, I did not get it on this one, but I did on the guide page. Means one of the videos on the page has audio in it and aren't animated GIFs. That was my thought. That was my initial thought, but I tried pausing all of them and it didn't seem to make a difference. Bottom of the page, there's related guides. Yeah, I did. That thought crossed my mind as well. The related guides. It's the warm white. It's the only one out of the colors that actually has audio embedded. Product. Wait. The one below lights up when it reaches the middle. It does, yeah, it seems like it. Yeah. It's like, it's not lighting up all the way though. It's like definitely more faint than the other ones. Yeah, it's kind of like, right? It's like that one pretty consistently, I think. Doesn't do it without row. Does with this one. Yeah, I don't know. It's almost just like bleed over or something. Now it's kind of doing it on the last 2 or 3. You can actually see it a lot better through this camera than you can with the naked eye. It's doing it to these last couple ones here. It's almost just like it's like bleeding over a little bit of the power or something. What I'm going to do is just go back to the stock version of the library and make sure that that's not, make sure it behaves the same, because I really don't think that is coming from our new PR version at all. But we can double check. And then I think I'm probably going to wrap it up pretty quick after this. We did not make it into displayio stuff. Spent a bit longer on PyPy and on the emulator side, trying to clear the terminal and a couple of things, so not make it quite into displayio. So I'll probably be picking that stuff up tomorrow. So if anybody's interested in displayio, the newer of the display APIs, tomorrow morning on my own stream, which will be back here on the Discord, so you can check in the live broadcast chat if you want to join along. I'll put the links in there when I get going, but I'll be working on updating examples for new API sent website report feedback on it, taken care of. Nice. The one below, oh yeah, that was before. But I'll be working on updating examples for the new displayio APIs. Display.show has changed over to display.rootgroup equals. We're going to start the long and winding road of changing those over tomorrow, I think. Doing some testing on it, just make sure. We want to get it from, I guess we could just go circup, right? Yeah, same behavior on this one. I can see it ever so faintly right inside there. Pretty much same exact thing. I wonder if it's something to do with using both of them, or if it's like only that by itself. I don't know. Definitely doesn't seem related to the new stuff though. So I will leave a review on this and then I think wrap it up for the night. It seems fine to me. Like I said at the top, I don't have the real hardware, so I cannot actually test the actual new behavior with that new matrix. Although, while earlier when I got that M7, I did actually throw one of the bicolor ones of the I2C Stemma ones in my cart too, so I'll have one of those on the way. Maybe we can test it out a little while later. But I'm inclined to say this seems fine to me. It doesn't seem to interrupt the existing use cases. As far as I can tell, it just implements another format anyway, so as long as you aren't using the new format, I don't believe it should change anything with your code. So all the old stuff should still be working the exact same. This is the only change that looks even remotely functional, but even that's not actually a functional change, right? That's just going from F string, vice versa, going from dot format over to F strings. Seems fine to me. Added that to a if statement there. Guessing that's some kind of like auto figuring out the format or whatever. Or based on the format, it's initializing the correct thing, I guess, yeah. I cannot offer any insight to this. Don't actually understand why we write shift 2. Yeah, maybe, but I do not know. Drinking through different color recordings, they probably just forgot to mute the audio during export. Noticed a video doing a buzz sound in the Learn Guides once, took notes even. I wanted to report the bug, but I forgot. I also have issues with animations playing even though it's disabled, sometimes still playing when switching pages or something. It's weird. I don't know if it's JavaScript dynamically switching pages like YouTube does instead of loading a new page from scratch, or a Firefox thing. Okay. Firefox iPad doesn't even load the images sometimes. The iOS reload, it's common, random, only happens like once a week. One M7 left. 99 gone in 2 hours. I will say also, I do think it'd be cool for them to add their terminal output. I don't it's another thing, like, I don't think we need to hold up this PR for it, but maybe if they want to open a new PR with their terminal output, it might be cool if they're willing to, like, I don't know, what is it licensed? Was it licensed in that repo? If they're, like, willing to license it under MIT or same thing, we have this one. Doesn't actually say. All right. Thank you to Jedahan, Edahan, Jedahan. Thank you to Jedahan for this functionality. Super cool. Go here. We will release this. We'll go 160, I think, right? Because that's new functionality. Okay, was that inside? Bicolor matrix. Bicolor matrix. Support. I just said thank you to them, but I also don't actually remember their name specifically. My apologies, friend. Jedahan, is that right? Jedahan, it is, yeah. Sometimes GitHub fills these in automatically when you get close, and sometimes they don't. It's weird, like, I started typing a bunch of this, but it still didn't fill in. Yeah, I even have the beginning of it there. Hey. Boom. And it's gone. Is this the and it's gone? And it's gone. Yep. And it's gone. Okay. That is in. That is what we are going to have time for tonight, even about 15 minutes overtime. Usually I go about 2 hours. So I will wrap it up for now. I do hope everyone has a good rest of your evening. Like I said before, if anyone is interested in following along further, I'll be back tomorrow morning on my own channel working on that displayio API updates, just updating examples for the new version of displayio API. So I'll be back then. That'll be at 10 a.m. Central Time tomorrow. I'll drop links in the live broadcast chat on the Discord. Other than that, just thank you to Jetta Han. This was a cool functionality in this Framebuf library. Even though I don't have the exact hardware to test it, I think it's still a pretty sweet thing. So thank you to them. Thank you to everybody for hanging out in the chat and helping and offering up suggestions and ideas and questions and comments and everything else. Appreciate all of you. And yeah, I will see you all later. Thanks, everybody.